Hey everyone, so I wanted to do a quick update on Fantom since our last video to take a look at the key price levels above us and below us to keep us on the right side of the market. Now, the last time that we did our Fantom video, we did speak about, not FOMOing into prices up here, because I did the video exactly when it was about $3.20 and I said don't buy here, and I said even for me anything above $2 is still going to be too aggressive entry for me. I look to add into those areas of value. I said the first place that I'd be looking to go into for me would be about $1.80. And whilst we did get a bounce there initially, I said that the real area of value was going to be somewhere at about the dollar mark, which I'll just mark out here in green. And we've actually hit that, really nicely. And we're currently bouncing here from support. Now, I'll try to link that video if I can remember above me so you can check that out so you know that I am not telling you fibs and lies. And yeah, and we've managed to, like I said, nail some of these altcoins pretty well in the past month or two. I actually think that my predictions and areas of value to be adding into altcoins have been better than Bitcoin. So long may that continue, because I seem to do more of those videos than Bitcoin, and you lot seem to enjoy them most. So yeah, let's dive straight into the video. Now, I'm much more comfortable buying Fantom at a minus 70% discount because none of the fundamentals or anything has changed with the project than I am buying and FOMOing up here and, basically being able to have 3 times less purchasing power at the absolute top and the all-time high. So that's why, we mark out these key levels, and this is where I would be adding in. And if we were to go any lower from here, then I'd be happy to add in further positions. But if we bring out the volume, this $1 area that we spoke about quite a few times before, you can see bang on. This is why I speak about low volume areas, is that they tend to give you those ideas about where price reactions are going to happen, and whether you get a big bounce where price doesn't seem to hang around for a long time. That's why it's so important. And we can see as well that that $1.80 mark above us is definitely going to be that next zone to be looking out for any potential, move and move higher, and for Fantom to stall out next. You can see that just looking at this on the weekly is this is our low volume area at somewhere around $1.70 to $1.80. And if we take a look, this is just on the weekly, we can see 3 massive spikes where we've been rejected from it twice before in the past, and 1 massive bounce, or 2 massive bounces, the one that we got on the 17th of January. And if we drop it down to the daily, you can see multiple areas of support resistance at this level. So this is going to be a really important level. I think Fantom potentially does have the legs to bounce from here, especially after a near on 70% decline, to have a nice little bounce of at least like 60-70%. I wouldn't be surprised for that for Fantom, moving into the next month or two. But yeah, like I said, things can change pretty quickly, so we just want to keep an eye on Bitcoin. And so long as Bitcoin stays healthy, I think that Fantom does have a good shot of reaching this level. Any capitulation or move for Bitcoin down to like that 38k or below, expect Fantom to get dragged down with it. Interestingly enough, looking at the Fibonacci EMAs on both the daily and the weekly, you can see that we're getting some confluence with some of those key moving averages that we've been rejected from in the past, okay, which is at the minute the 55 daily EMA. And if we were to reach up here or just pierce above it, that again would put us at about that $1.70, $1.80 mark. So just look for that as an area of resistance to keep pushing Fantom down, because so long as the market is in an overall downtrend, and we're below key moving averages. And if I just clean up this chart, and you can see that we are essentially just creating lower highs, okay, and lower lows. And until that trend changes, you need to expect that if we do move into this $1.70 area, $1.60 area, somewhere in and around that level, okay, that just do expect that we can definitely roll over from that point, and don't start FOMOing into too many of these altcoin pumps, especially when we're in a downtrend and we've already moved up about 50, 60, 70% on some of these moves. So I just want you to be aware of that. And If you look at this on the weekly as well, and we bring up the Fibonacci EMAs on the weekly, you can also see what is also coming in at about that $1.70 mark is going to be that weekly 21 EMA, which our 21 week EMA is going to be our most important momentum indicator to give us an idea. So we're getting multiple confluence that really that's the next level to be looking out for. So we can definitely grind higher, chop around for a bit, but that's the level that I'd be looking out for. Now, obviously, I'm going to give you some targets below us because pretty much every single target that I give you on all of these altcoins below us seem to always get hit. So I'll try to be Gandalf as best as I can, and just give you some of those downside targets as well. That if that does happen, and like I said, the bias at the minute in the short to sort of immediate term is, we can definitely move higher into this $1.70, $1.80 region, which is this yellow line that I've just drawn across the screen. If we get rejected from here and we move lower and we take out the low that we made on the 14th of March at about $1.03, $1.02, the next level below us for me would be targeting this price action over here at about 60 cents. Okay, so if we do move low, just be prepared for that. But anywhere below $1 for me is going to be really good areas of value to buy into, because you're now buying into this old price action that we were in, about a year ago. So you're now able to buy Fantom at prices that you haven't seen since nearly a year ago. So I do think this is a good area to be adding into. But I speak about order blocks, and I'm not sure if some of you want me to do a video on order blocks and how they work and why it is literally the matrix of trading. And I think once you see it, it's really hard to unsee it. Because you realize how the market really ebbs and flows. But you can see that we've got a nice order block over here, okay, at about 60 cents, and that's the reason that I sort of bring that up, because order blocks are essentially prices or areas of price where we basically break a key level of market structure. And if I just clean this up, just to give you this example, where here we had 60 cents, we couldn't get above it, got rejected and broke above it. This whole area where you get this down candle, okay, so you get this move down, okay, and then we break up anywhere in that move down is essentially an order block, where they typically do get tagged nearly all of the time. So that's the first area that I'd be looking out for. If we move any lower and we move into any sort of deeper bear market. So just keep that as an area in mind. And if we take a look at the VPVR, let's just clean that up. I'm sure that area wouldn't be too far for, yeah, there we go. Look, you get confluence here. That's why I try to mark out those really key areas for you. Is over here, like I said, at 60 cents. If you mark out all of these levels as well, like I tell you to, you can take all of these trades and just take such a favorable risk reward on a lot of like trades that you can just let run for like 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks and just leave it, right? But that's the next area of low volume below $1. And then below that, we've got some other areas at about 36. But until we, start tagging these, 60, 55 cent areas, there's no point talking about, targets that are like massively lower than that. So let's just take it one step at a time. So if $1 breaks, I'm looking at 60 cents, but I do think that we've got some short-term momentum to push us up to $1.80, where my bias would still be to create lower highs, something like this, okay, and to roll over, okay. I still think that's the most likely scenario at the minute, even though I said that I'm happy and I'm okay to be buying at about $1, because like I said, it's areas of value that you want to be buying into to sell at the future for a higher price. So it's all about, basically, for me, with these altcoins, you don't want to get caught up in too much of that short-term volatility. And guys and girls, like clockwork, what do I tell you about Fantom? Go back to the video, have a look at what I told you about those Fantom Bitcoin prices, and I told you that altcoins versus BTC tend to range pretty nicely into key areas of horizontal support and resistance. And what do we have here? Okay, we've got reactions at that 2,500 sat level versus Bitcoin, and again we've got that level, okay, so that's the next level that we want to break from, okay, and we're managing to see some sort of bounce at the minute, And you know, I think that can definitely take us up to this area of price action over here at about 4,500 satoshis. So if we do get a bounce, just look for, you know, these areas of price action, horizontal support resistance zones that I'm marking out for you on the chart right now. Look for these as to be the next area of key resistance should we move higher. And if we move into here and the market's sort of, you know, had a big pump, then, you know, potentially look to be taking profits. But if we do move any lower than 2,500, where we've seen that level hold support and currently holding support, then we're looking to find confluence with some USD valuations at lower prices. First stop would be 1,600 sats, and then below us, probably likely this order block over here, which might coincide with 60 cent, I'm not sure. You know, at about 1,000 satoshis. So just look at these areas that are marking off for you in yellow. Here is, like I said, above us 4,500, below us we've got you know, somewhere around that 2,000 1,600 satoshi mark if we get there, and maybe some sort of low over here at about 1,000 sats. So, you know, we're always looking for confluence with this chart, with the USD chart, and it usually typically plays out pretty well. So like I said, you want to be adding these altcoin, Bitcoin valuations into your arsenal when looking at your charting. That's really what elevates you to the next level. So I hope you got some value on that Fantom update, and that gives you an idea with where I think the, you know, prices might go in the short to medium term. Just like I said, bear in mind, just as with a lot of the other altcoins, that there is a lot of uncertainty in the market at the moment. And even if we do go down, we can still get massive rallies of 40, 50, 60, 70%. Okay, but that doesn't mean that changes the actual direction of the trend. For me, for Fantom to hit any sort of, you know, new all-time highs, or to give you any sign that basically we're going to continue upwards from here, we'd want to take out that $2.05, $2.10 level first. If we can break that, then we can start to put in potential, you know, higher highs and higher lows, and we can start doing something like this and stair-stepping our way out. And this might be one massive consolidation pattern, could be, but until the market shows you that, and that would also coincide with getting above those key moving averages on the daily, which I've just outlined here, and the weekly, okay, so like I said, which is about that $1.80 mark, then, you know, like I said, I think your buy still needs to be to the downside. Stay grounded, and that's pretty much what I'd be looking out for. If you got value out of the video, drop me a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know down below if you're holding Fantom, where you think it's going, and what your opinions are on the coin. Until the next one, I will catch you in the next video.